Uh, if you look at what's going on at the southern border, it is a total disaster, and it is a disaster that has been created by disastrous policy choices by President Joe Biden. Since taking office in January, Biden terminated the Remain in Mexico program, which required those claiming asylum to wait in Mexico until their asylum claims could be processed and verified. And let's just be clear, 99% of these are not valid asylum claims. This is being used as a way to gain access to the interior of our country. Biden has also reinstituted a catch and release policy, allowing illegal aliens apprehended at the border to simply just be released into American communities. Biden also ended construction of the effective border wall. Biden refused to detain and remove certain criminal aliens. Prior to Biden taking office, if we had somebody that was convicted of a crime here illegally, served a sentence, the Trump administration would take them and then they would be returned to their home country. Not so with Biden in office. Biden's also failed to aggressively exercise his administration's public health authority to expel inadmissible aliens due to the pandemic. The reversal and weakening of our policies have amounted to an open invitation for folks all across the world to just simply come through the southern border illegally and basically get a ticket to ride to the interior of the country. And the numbers speak for themselves. The number of encounters at the southwest border has skyrocketed from 78,000 in January to over 210,000 in July. That's a 171% increase. That's the highest monthly total in more than 20 years. And there's no sign of it slowing down. You have another 208,000 in August, and that was again close to another record. Additionally, the number of illegal aliens who were issued a notice to appear in court and subsequently released by the Border Patrol, which means they're not going to actually appear, in July alone was a staggering 60,607. By contrast, during the last full month of the Trump administration, only 17 individuals in this category were released. So this is absolutely a crisis. It's a crisis of the administration's own making. And yes, this is their primary responsibility, the federal government, but the states, we are the ones that are affected by this. And we have to be able to fight back. Now, a couple months ago, the state of Texas asked other states to provide mutual aid. Florida did that. We deployed over 250 state law enforcement officers over a period of about 6 to 8 weeks to help combat the smuggling of people and drugs across the border. While our folks were there, they were actually in the Del Rio sector. Wasn't quite as bad as you've seen in the last week or so, but they did 9,171 individual contacts of people coming across the border illegally. They made 311 felony arrests, 79 human smuggling cases, 16 stolen vehicle cases, 43 narcotics cases, and 4 actual drug seizures. And so then again, that's just our Florida footprint there in that part. And I actually went to the border, was able to see firsthand what was going on. I spoke with our folks, and all our folks volunteered because they understood the mission is important. But what they were saying is a lot of these folks that we're interacting with, most of these people are not just coming, they're not Mexicans. They're from over 100 different countries. They're coming from Africa, from Asia, from the Middle East, from South America, from the Caribbean, you name it. And basically, they're being told effectively, this is the way to do it. I don't know how people feel who are actually going through our legal immigration system feel about this. They're certainly not being, they've certainly been given the short end of the stick. But it's very clear that open borders is the Biden administration policy. They want a massive illegal migration into this country, and it's obvious in the policies that they're choosing. The frustrating thing about this from a state perspective is they are farming out people all across communities across the United States, including here in Florida, yet they don't ever tell us what they're doing. The administration won't tell Florida how many people coming across the border illegally have been resettled in Florida. They don't talk about the destination of the people that are being resettled in Florida. And they don't talk about the number who have been resettled in Florida who have been COVID positive. So they don't tell us a lot of stuff. They don't say whether they have a criminal record. They don't say whether they've failed to appear for their removal proceedings. And we're entitled to know, given that we bear the cost of most of this with our services, our criminal justice system, our education system, we're entitled to know what's going on here. And so the absence of transparency in particular is just quite frankly unacceptable. And we've seen the federal government take people coming across the border illegally, flying them to airports around the country, including right here at Southwest Florida International Airport. They basically are given a notice appear, and then they're sent on their way. Think about that, though. If you're given a notice to appear and you're told, hey, call this number to schedule a proceeding at your convenience, how many people are actually going to follow through on that? That's not the way they do it here. I mean, if they arrest somebody, they don't just give them the option to schedule their own trial. They actually hold them accountable. So a lot of this is just a complete and utter farce. If you were really serious about adjudicating those claims, you wouldn't be farming people out all across the United States. The end of the day, that affects people here. It will affect people, medical services. It will affect other types of social services. It will affect education. So this continued release of folks on a very mass scale and unprecedented scale will saddle states and local governments with health, financial, economic, and public safety costs. There's just no doubt about it. That's why at the end of August, I wrote a letter to the DHS Secretary, Mayorkas, demanding that the Biden administration cease using Florida to resettle folks from the southwest border. And I asked that the prior policies be reinstituted, such as remain in Mexico. And I'm under no illusion that they're going to change course. I think this is intentional. I think this is ideological. I also requested DHS provide information regarding the number, identities, destinations, criminal record, COVID testing status of all the illegal aliens that had resettled in Florida, and that moving forward, that they actually provide Florida notice when they are affirmatively doing this. And of course, not surprisingly, we've not heard a peep from the Biden administration concerning our request, and they continue to leave us in the dark. But we are undeterred, and I'm pleased to be here today with Attorney General Moody to announce 3 significant actions we are taking to address the Biden border crisis. First, the state of Florida is suing the Biden administration over its unlawful and destructive catch and release policy. Thanks to Attorney General for leading that effort, and she'll have more to say about that when she makes her remarks. Second, I'm signing an executive order to prohibit state agencies that prohibit state agencies that report to me from aiding or abetting in any way what the federal government is doing right now. We're not going to be a party to this lawlessness. We haven't, to my knowledge, but we're letting the marker down know that this is an absolute red line. We're not going to do it. And the order prohibits our agencies from providing assistance to the feds or any other entity for the transportation of folks who are here illegally into Florida from the southwest border. It also directs the Florida Department of Children and Families determine whether Florida should continue to grant licenses for facilities that house unaccompanied alien minors brought into the state from the southwest border. Granting licenses to house illegal alien children who do not reside in Florida takes resources away for child welfare from children who do reside here. This is a problem we have to address, and we have to put Florida children first. The order also requests that the Commissioner of FDLE conduct regular audits of companies doing business in Florida, particularly publicly traded corporations and other large companies, to verify that they are only employing lawful individuals. Additionally, the order requests state agencies to collect and provide information concerning the impact of illegal immigration in Florida. We want information on the number and identities of everyone that's been resettled from the southwest border to Florida. We also encourage both FDLE and Florida Highway Patrol to detain vehicles such as buses or aircraft if they're transporting illegal aliens from the southwest border, if there's reasonable suspicion that the vehicle is being used for human trafficking or drug trafficking. And unfortunately, that is an all too common occurrence when you talk about what's going on here. The order also requests information from state officials on the number who are pending criminal prosecution in Florida and the number who have been convicted, including the crimes convicted, the amount of funds expended on health care for illegal aliens, and the amount of funds spent on social services. Finally, I'm proud to announce that I'm appointing Larry Keefe, the former U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Florida, to serve as our public safety czar. And as public safety czar, Larry will ensure that the actions directed by this executive order, as well as many other things, are carried out, and I'm very honored and happy to have him on my team. So we are in a situation where we have a disaster on the southern border that's been apparent for many, many months. We would like to see the prior policies reinstituted. We're under no illusion that that's going to happen. So we've got to take every effort we can to make sure that we're protecting the people of Florida, and that's what we're doing here today.